One more before the break. George in Chicago. Great to have you, sir. Hi.
Hi, Ross. It's a great honor. We were talking about your father. I want to remember my father, who died in 1957. He was a mechanical and electrical engineer for AC Spark Plug, and he worked in a plant in Milwaukee where we grew up. I never knew him. He died when I was 3. My younger brother was just born, and my older brother was 5. But what he did was he was engaged in 100% of the production of material for the United States Air Force. Specifically, his Milwaukee installation was producing gun bomb rocket sites, bombing navigational computers under high priority security standards. And his work and product in the plant were the utmost importance to the Air Force. And I say this because there's so many people that are unsung heroes that are working every day. We need to unite the country with the people that are working in the lines. That's why what President Trump is doing, bringing manufacturing back to Wisconsin and all over the United States, is vital to the security of our country. And, God, I miss my dad. Massive heart attack. I'm sure he was, during World War II and then 57 when he was doing the Korean work with his plant. It was too much. But God bless him. I miss him, and I hope to see him someday.
No doubt you will, I think. But, you're absolutely right about something. I have a phrase for people like your dad. And that phrase is the people who make the country work. And your dad seems like a classic member of that group of people. They were not seeking fame or notoriety. They were not narcissistic. They were not trying to call attention to themselves. They knew, because World War II and other challenges, that they learned very early in their lives that there were things much bigger than themselves. And they had to grow up really fast. They didn't have the luxury that their kids and grandkids had of growing up at leisure. They didn't have the opportunity for leisure. There were genuine, real threats that needed to be defended, threats to the country. And these people are still out there, and they're all over the place. And nobody ever knows about them because they don't blow their own horn, and they don't have press agents and publicity spokesmen. So nobody ever knows what they're doing. Nobody ever hears about them. And when a story like the Florida shooting happens, we don't know what they think. We are treated to a news media that has become a very activist, radical left activist organization that disguises itself as media people. One of their tricks, for example, in this story, they're trying to make it look like every American is ticked off and wants the NRA disbanded and guns collected and not sold anymore. That every American finally realizes this, except for Donald Trump and the Republicans, who are still a bunch of pig-headed, stubborn, obstinate snobs that don't get it. And that is what's reported. But we don't know what people like your dad think about these things. And it's important to know because they are the people that make the country work. And by that, look, there are people every day that are doing things that are not glamorous and they're not exorbitantly highly paid, but the country couldn't function each day without them. And that's why I say they are people that make the country work. The media does not make the country work. The media, in many ways, provides an impediment for people to overcome. The media is an obstacle that some people have to find their way around. In many ways, doing a disservice. And I really think this story in Florida, there is so big a disservice being done. If the objective is to stop and think, the next shooting is going to happen. There is going to be one. Yet we continue to act like maybe there won't be. And then when it happens, we're shocked and saddened and mad. But we know it's going to happen. Intelligence, guided by experience. And as a brilliant caller to the program said yesterday, it's pretty good odds that the next shooter already has the gun that he's going to use. And just like this incident, I'll bet you that the next shooter is already known by some people, like this guy was. And nothing was done. FBI said, well, the video tip that we got, there wasn't enough. There just wasn't enough. The guy's name was not enough. We couldn't confirm that it was the real guy. Well, how about this guy had been visited his house by the cops 39 times over a number of years. How in the world can this guy slither through this many law enforcement hands? And the answer is how their hands are tied. See, if we really want to do something about this, we got to realize this is America. It's not the America we wish. It's not an America where there aren't any guns. It's not an America where there is no NRA. It's not an America where there isn't a Second Amendment. It's an America with 300 guns and a bunch of mentally disturbed people out there being mentally disturbed for a whole bunch of reasons that we also better get our arms around. If we're going to stop it, if we're going to save the kids, shouting, stop the guns, ban the guns, or dumping on Trump or Republicans or the NRA is not going to do one thing towards stopping the next event.